The Bible spoke about Enoch. And the Bible said about Enoch that Enoch lived 65 years and begat Methuselah. And Enoch walked with God. Enoch walked with God. After he begat Methuselah 300 years, he begat sons and daughters. And all the days of Enoch were 365 years. And Enoch walked with God. And he was not, for God took him. One thing that touched my heart, which again I'm not going to be able to deal with elaborately tonight, was the fact that in those little verses, a volume had been written about Enoch's private life with God. It looks to me as if the Bible said Enoch lived 65 years and he begat his son Methuselah. But in verse 22 they say, and Enoch walked with God after he begat Methuselah. So I found that walking with God, is not automatic. It means that walking with God is not an unconscious thing. It means that there was a particular point in the life of Enoch when he began to walk with God. It dawns on me that the first 65 years of his life, he was not walking with God. He was living his life anyhow. But after he began Methuselah, there was a punctuation in his life. There was something, the Bible said, and Enoch walked with God after he begat Methuselah. And he walked for 300 years. He had sons and daughters, yet he was walking with God. And when they put all his life together, it was 365 years, but he had walked with God for 300 years out of that. The question I should be able to ask, if you permit me tonight, have you started to walk with God? And when did you begin your walk with God? Can you remember when it started? Some say, since I was born, my father himself was a venerable. And I can't even remember when we started going to church, because actually I was carried to church as an infant, and I've always been in church, and in fact I was baptized, confirmed. Excuse me, sir. When did you begin to walk with God? When did Jesus step into your life? What is that punctuation mark that you can say, in the time past, I was in darkness, but now I was in darkness, but now I am in the light. At what point can we say, my walk with God began? It would be wonderful if your walk with God actually began in a definite place, in a definite time, in a definite encounter, and in a definite experience that marked the beginning of your journey with God. A beginning of your personal, I have said, for me, if the matter of ministry were to be my credential for heaven, honestly speaking, I don't need to worry. I would have said, I'm alright. How can God throw me to hell when we have done these big things? But suddenly I realized that many people that did big things for God, they are in hell today. When Jesus said, many that are first shall be last. I was wondering, what does that mean? Which means those that we thought are big men for God, those that we thought that when they are coming in, even the angels will salute them and say, welcome, man of God. Only to discover that they are on the other side, gnashing their teeth. And you know, when you get on the other side, you can't tell lies anymore. They began to say, I was an hypocrite. I was an hypocrite. I was an hypocrite. Those who, in the guise of Holy Communion, perpetuated their drunkenness. You know, sometimes that's the peril of a servant of God. Some of us years ago, when you were a drunkard, we know that you went into the beer parlor and you drank Shina and you got drunk. But how terrible it is now under the clerical dress, under the ministry of the communion. Because somehow we were told that the communion elements must not stay overnight. And that is why unconsciously, when you have served the communion finished, your old appetite for Shina woke up, and you sat alone to finish the bottle. And when you are coming out, you are staggering. Communion has finished your life. If the trumpet sounds and you find yourself on the way to hell, will you be able to say and say, oh God, I did not get drunk in the hotel, I got drunk on the altar. How terrible it has been that several church girls have been disvirgined by men of the clergy right in the vestry. These are things not to be said, but because we serve a God who will not hide hypocrisy, who is not a respecter of persons. Sometimes we discipline the church, the girl. We say, if you talk, you want to spoil ministry here. Before he does anything, we discipline, excommunicated her and said, she's a useless girl. And who will ever listen to her? The PCC cannot call her. They believe the man of God. The girl was crying. Her parents look at her and say, you're a useless girl. You want to spoil our name. She said, I want to say something. Say, keep your mouth shut. Even her parents cannot believe. Believed you more than her. And heaven is keeping quiet. Because a day is coming when all hidden things shall be made open. When books shall be opened, and every man's record will come out. And then, where shall we put our faces? What shall we be saying? What apology are we going to give to those who trusted us so much? And we trifled with the sacred trust of ministry that God gave us. Men and women of the clergy, it will not matter so much if ministry covers this lack of a personal walk with God. But ministry does not. Ministry will rather aggravate it. And tonight, You say, but we have just come. Why is he confronting us so quickly? It's very urgent. It's very urgent. Very, very urgent. What makes it urgent is that maybe it's in a long while you ever sat to be ministered to like this. You are always the one ministering to people. You are always the one. When they want to confess their sin, they come and kneel down before you as if they are kneeling down before God. And they are expecting that you will pronounce forgiveness and benediction over their heads. And when you did that for people, no one does it for you.